Just first of all, obviously, Anthony signed that new deal yesterday. How delighted are you to get that sorted? He's a player who's really flourishing this season, isn't he?
Yeah, well deserved. Yeah, look, I'm happy. It was a pretty easy process, to be fair. Anthony, he's obviously he loves his football club, and for him, there wasn't too much sort of going back and forth. The people advising him, did a good job as well. It was never a matter of too much negotiation there. He's getting rewarded for his form and more than his form, just the way he's gone about things since the start of the year. I mean, he did sign a contract at the start of the year, but I think life, you get rewarded for doing things right, and he's committed totally to this football club and what we're trying to do, and delighted for him. Yeah, absolutely, because sometimes a football career can be a very precarious thing and a lot of uncertainty, so I think he deserves to have some security around his life and his football career, and I'm sure there's more to come.
I was going to say, how much more do you think there is to come from Anthony? He has improved a lot this season already.
Same with all of them. I expect them to improve till the moment they hang up their boots, and that's what they all should be trying to do, irrespective of age or experience. And Tony's still very young. He's 22, and he hasn't had a lot of senior football. So whatever gains he's made in the last sort of 3 months, I expect if he keeps applying himself, which I'm sure he will, and has the right mindset, then there's no limit to how much people can improve, provided you want to and you're willing to, and the environment sets it up that way. And like every other footballer here, we'll be pushing to do that.
Ange, can I ask how your squad is for the game?
We've obviously sort of out of the last game, we lost Carl Starfelt, so kind of recovery, similar sort of timelines to Tommy, I guess. We're hoping he'll be back after the international break, but he'll definitely miss these 2 games. Everyone else got through the game okay. Obviously James, he got his first run for a while, and he got through the game okay, and everyone else has trained well, so the rest of the squad will be the same.
I guess Ferencvaros need victory tomorrow night to give them any hope at all. Given you played against a very defensive Livingston team at the weekend, should that suit Celtic?
I don't think it's a matter of suiting us. I think it's going to be another good challenge for us. They're a very good team, and we knew that before we played them. We had to play really well that night to get on top of them, because we'd watched them against Leverkusen and Betis, and they're a fantastic team with some really good players. And at home, in Europe, every time you play away, it's always a challenge, irrespective of the contrast in style. So from our perspective, it's about trying to repeat the levels we showed last time against them, knowing that we're going to face a good team that with their crowd behind them. As you said, they have to try and win, so we expect them to put us under some pressure, and they're the things that we've got to cope with. But it's a fantastic challenge for us as a team. As I said, playing away in Europe is always challenging against good teams. So, but at the same time, it's an absolutely great opportunity for growth and development.
And you are away from home in Europe. There will be no fans. It was confirmed by the club this morning. No Celtic fans. Is that a blow for you?
Yeah, look, it's disappointing for our supporters, I guess. Disappointing for the atmosphere, but again, it's a world we live in where these things aren't as clear cut as they were in the past, and obviously we're being guided again by governments and regulatory bodies, and disappointing for our fans. I'm sure it's a beautiful city, Budapest, as probably Alison will attest to, and probably why she got there a day early. But it's a shame we're not going to have them in the stadium. But another good challenge for our players, going into an environment where that the opposition are going to have all the support behind them, and again, a good challenge, great opportunity for us to have some growth.
Last time out against Ferencvaros, it was a must-win game to keep your hopes alive. What would a victory in Budapest tomorrow night do for your hopes of qualification?
Well, it'll help, that's for sure. So, I mean, again, we're no different, I guess. We obviously lost our first 2 games, so you kind of know, you know, if we want to be in a position to try and get out of the group, then a victory tomorrow night is going to help us in that cause. So, you know, we've got to go for the game and go for the win and again, play our football and try and get maximum points out of it.
Despite that slow start, Ange, do you still see yourself in with a real good chance of getting out of the group?
Well, we're a chance. You know, we're obviously losing the first 2 games, you know, made it difficult, but we knew that we had to win against Ferencvaros to give ourselves a chance, and that's where we're at the moment. We're a chance, and if we get a result tomorrow night, I assume we'll be a chance still. So, so that's kind of where we're at. And as I said, for us, it's a great opportunity and a great challenge.
And with all the different plates that you're spinning, having come into the club and the domestic challenge, I'm wondering how important Europe still is to you. I know you wanted to get to this stage to get Celtic's, you know, credibility back, but I'm wondering, is it still as important to you as big a deal given everything else?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, as I said, these are great opportunities. I mean, we're obviously, you know, as you said, we've built a new team. We're trying to play a certain way. We're fitting in new players. You don't want to miss these opportunities to test yourself and get growth and development, because if you can get have a strong performance away from home, get a result away from home in Europe, it just adds to your development. So you don't want to miss that opportunity by sort of thinking, well, you know, we're not ready for that stage. You know, my thinking for all these things are that, you know, when these doors open, you want to go through them and you know, put your best foot forward and see where it takes you. And you know, from my perspective, as I said, tomorrow night it's a great opportunity for growth with this team and development. A game against Betis away was a fantastic game against a top team, and you know, we gave it a good shake. I know we lost 4-3, but you know, away victories in Europe are always challenging, but the manner in which we took the game to them, I thought helped us in our growth, and that's what we're looking for tomorrow night.
With with Starfire, just a quick one. With Starfire being out, is Chris Julian an option for you, or is it too early for him? Where's he in his recovery?
Yeah, no, too early for him in his recovery. You know, he's, you know, again, we've got to just be careful with him. We want him back. He's going to be an enormous asset for us when he does get back. But you know, the long-term stuff, you know, we just want to make sure that he's absolutely right, and you know, he's not too far away. But for a game like this tomorrow, nowhere near ready.
Yeah, just following on from that, Ange, I was just going to say, how big a blow is it to lose Carl at a time when he was starting to get a real settled run, and how do you assess the options that you do have to plug his gap? Yeah,
look, it's always a blow when you lose players to injury. You know, we obviously since the start of the year we've sort of been hit with certain injuries, but you know, to be fair to Carl, he's played every game since he's got here, and you know, it's not surprising that, you know, he's had something like this happen. You know, would have loved to have rotated him earlier, but we were trying to build some, you know, cohesion, consistency with our back four. We didn't want to chop and change too much because we had to at the start of the year. So, you know, it would have been great to get him through this kind of spell, and then, you know, with the international break, give him a chance to recover. But you know, it's disappointing to lose him, but. Yeah, we've got options. I mean, Welsh's, you know, has been raring to go, and you know, been unfortunate, I guess, not to be able to get an opportunity to play again, because whenever he has played, he's been very good for us. You know, Nero can slip back in there as well, so we've got some options.
How's Giakoumakis been? Is he the type that can just brush that penalty disappointment aside and bounce back? You've not seen any ill effects from him in the days that have followed?
I haven't been paying too close attention, to be fair, but he's a striker, mate. You know, he's a number 9. You know, you don't come be number 9 for Celtic and hide somewhere when a penalty's up for grabs in the last minute of a game. Yeah, so I reckon he would have been disappointed if he didn't take it. So I'd like to think he would be. So yeah, that's his challenge. But you know, that's you come to a big club, you're the striker. You're expected to score goals. You're not expected to be protected from that. And you know, it was disappointing for him, I guess, personally. But from a team perspective, we're not going to hang it on him that he missed the penalty. Like I said, it was my decision to put him up there. So that's the way it is, and I expect him to bounce back, and as he should, because, like I said, he's going to get more opportunities to win games for us, and I'd assume we want to be front and centre for that.
I was just going to ask, you mentioned the cover that you have in Stephen Welsh and near Beaton. How likely are we to perhaps see a Liam Scales or James McCarthy get some game time tomorrow?
Yeah, they're in the squad. Obviously in Europe we can have an extended squad and can make extra subs. So, James and Liam will both be on the bench, and depending how the game goes, they may get an opportunity. They both had an opportunity during the European games. As I said, that'll just depend on how the game's going.
And obviously you're no stranger to a selection headache so far at Celtic, but in terms of the players you've got available at the front end of your team, is that more of a welcome dilemma this time?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's great to have options. As I said, it was great to get James back in on the weekend. I know he's going to be a really good player for us, particularly the way we play. And he's had a frustrating time, so great to get him back up and running. Mikey now, every week is building more and more, and I think Liel's in a better place now that we've given him a bit of a spell with Jota, and you've always got Kyogo and Jacko up there. So yeah, no, it's good because again, it's not just how we start, but the ability to throw guys on, particularly late in games, particularly in Europe when there's going to be something riding on the game for sure tomorrow night. Towards the end of it, being able to throw on some quality in the front half is going to be a good option to have.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Postecoglou. My name is Bence Babiak. I work for the Hungarian sport newspaper Nemzeti Sport. And my first question would be that now this time you are playing against a Hungarian team in Hungary. And what are the memories that comes to your mind in connection with Hungarian football and with, of course, Ferenc Puskás? And the second question would be that you mentioned that Mr. Ferenc Puskás was your mentor. But my question would be this time that what was those not really football-related, but life-related lessons that you learned from him?
Yeah, I think I covered that last time. In terms of my connection with Ferenc Puskás, and as I said at the time, for me, he made an impact as much as a man as he did as a coach, because he was a very, very humble man, and it showed me that no matter what you achieve in life. There's nothing wrong with being nice and being respectful to all people, because all kinds. I mean, people would thrust babies in front of him and want everything signed, and he was always patient. He always had time for everyone, and for us, sometimes when you're a footballer, and I was in that camp, we get a bit full of ourselves, of our own importance, and watching him and the way he dealt with people and how respectful he was, and like I said, how humble he was, makes an impact on everyone, I think. So, it's a good lesson. I mean, I said that about Walter Smith's passing. Sometimes we get caught up in the achievements of people, but we forget, their biggest achievement is just being a good human being, and Ferenc was definitely one of the best people that I've met.